my third guy plays some games.
Alright, hi y'all, Weather Guy here. We are back once again with more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles with Twisted Karma. In its last bout, we are going into our second set of testimony and cross-examination with these two knuckleheads. We're going to see how it goes. The truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him for the night at our secret hideout. Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case. We took the man's identification from him and shot him in the room next to ours. There might have been a little tussle, but we didn't know harm, and the next morning we let him go. He spent the night in a nice room. It was nothing like prison, really. Okay. So they got Gregson? I still think they got someone else. This is outrageous. You imprisoned the man. But no, no. It was not like a prison. He was a very comfortable and calm and happy. Hey, Capo. It was never part of my plan, I swear it. Oh, so you think it was my fault, eh? Just because I got the date of the fairy wrong. Yeah, I won a little day. I do not think it was your fault, Peppino. I know it. No. Por favor, Capo, it's not fair. You sure have plenty of time for squabbling back at the prison, gentlemen. Oof. I don't believe this. How could he have been a real detective? Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination. So the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in this pair's hideout?
Hold it!
Let's find out where this is at. Do you realize what you're saying? You have to believe me, I never intended for that to happen. And I'm sure the detective did not intend it either. Do you think? But there was nothing else I could do. See, nothing else? This was the first crime for the capo. He was at the end of his wits. I have told you before, Peppino, that is not the way to describe a criminal mastermind. What about this hideout of yours? An old empty house behind the park on Lamb Street. We rented the place for 2 days. It was an inspired idea by the capo here. Impulsive idea, I would say. No, not impulsive, inspired, eh, Capo? What am I supposed to say to that, eh, Peppino? And it was in the house described that you confined Inspector Gregson, was it? Ugh, But you have to remember, I was under the impression that he was a pretender, not the real inspector. It doesn't quite add up, though. You didn't think that man was a real inspector. There would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there? No, you are right, but we couldn't be completely certain.
Hold it!
Too scared? Why? Because why had he come to the park? We didn't know. There was a chance that he had seen through my plan. If that was the case, he would go straight to the police station to blow the whistle on us. If he was just feigning to be an inspector, he was up to no good, eh? Without a doubt. I think most people would agree that it's you two who were up to no good. Well, see, you may be right. Hey, Capo. The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately. That is why we had no choice but to take the man prisoner. What I don't understand is why the inspector felt the need to show you his identification in the first place. See, I'm asking myself the same question. We were writing down the names and addresses for all the people who he took the 5 shillings from that day. I have forgotten what name he said, but the address, it startled me. See, address, Scotland Yard Homicide Division, he said. What? He probably didn't like your face, Peppino. Anyway, I was not rude. I just politely asked him why he had said it. And that's when he started to say he was an inspector. Not long afterwards, he took us out his identification. What was Inspector Gregson playing at? Tell the court what happened next. You took him back to your hideout, you say. See, we did. Hold it! That being this identification book here, correct? See, that is the one. What made you believe that it was a forgery? I never seen a real one, of course. But he was so suspicious, man. Allora, I was thinking it must be false. Hey, Capo! We? It is just as Peppino has said. We were convinced it was not genuine. And so together, the hilarious brothers, we took the man captive. All we did was shove him inside a locked room. Then we made preparations to transport all of the money. In for a penny, in for a pound. Then we took a little tussle. Hold it! What do you mean by little tussle exactly? Well, it was nothing, just a minor incident. The false inspector, he was a real piece of the work, eh, Capo? What happened? Uffa, it was a disaster. We gave him a nice room, and what does he do, huh? In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through the vent of the core. Can you blame him? We chased him, bien sûr, and we caught him again. Can you blame us? Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you? Who do you think we are? Of course not. I simply caught hold of him again and took him back to the room. Excuse me. Mr. DeRossi, is something wrong? Dude, he had like spaghetti coming out of his mouth there. Hey, me! Something Mr. DeRusso just said seemed to make you, seemed to make you act even more strangely than usual. What was that all about? Cavolo, at times like that you don't want to have the capo after you, believe me. And I speak from a personal experience, Personal experience? That is enough, Peppino. There is no need to say more. The truth is, the night before we put the Redhead League plan in action, I was scared. It was not fair to the capo, but I tried to run away. It's a shame you didn't manage it. But the capo here, he came after me like the turbine, huh? He dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have the bruises to prove it, eh, Capo? Bruises, you say? Ah, you want to see, huh? You want to see my fantastical bruises? Oh, that's interesting. That's enough now, Peppino. No one wants to look at any part of you. His bruises are on his neck as well as... same as, gossip. What to do, huh? I show you, I don't. I show you, I don't. You do, now. Oh Lord, if everybody wants to see, then I do it. Echo, you see, it's still very visible, eh? That red ring around your neck. You got that when you were dragged back to the house? See, the capo, sometimes he is a very rough, and I said that's enough. Peppino's neck has nothing to do with what we are talking about here. You have my word. Oh, yes. What is your opinion, counsel? About this red ring around Mr. DeRossi's neck? I wonder, does it matter? Yeah, it's important. Gossip has the same red ring. Mr. DeRossi, I'm gonna have to, I don't know why, but... to amend your testimony with details about that mark on your neck. Hey, Capo, you see? Everyone is interested in what I say, huh? Very well, you will amend your testimony as requested, Mr. Rossi. See, if you really wanted to know. Put the collar on him. Collar. Let's remember that we have a very prominent collar that we haven't really explored yet from a couple cases ago now. Are you saying that red mark was caused by... See, a big collar made from the leather. Leather collar. Is this true, Mr. DeRusso? What, we had a Saint Bernard at home when I was younger? It is a souvenir from that time with a very strong chain. Strong chain? And you put that around your friend's neck? I'm sorry, I was so angry that he was leaving me alone. You did not have to tie the chain to the leg of the bed, though I would have not tried to run again. You didn't do that to Inspector Gregson as well, did you? Treat the people unequally is the Capo's here motto, eh? Starting to sound a lot more like a prison all of a sudden. The Capo is a tough, but the Capo is a rough. Ugh, I shouldn't have done it. So, the following morning when you released the inspector, he added the red ring around his neck, just like a me. Peppino's, it was blood. Leave it now. Now you know, the Capo here, you don't want to tangle with him, eh? But for the inspector, it's not so bad.
Hold it!
You took away the man's freedom, however comfortable you make it sound, you were still holding him prisoner. You say that, then I say this. There is something that takes away our freedom too, the lack of our money. So we are the prisoners as well, huh? All of us. Huh? Did he just a total, like, Mario Brothers jump there? No money, no freedom, that is the truth? It makes me mad, and it makes me mad. What can we do? Huh? Well, you feel so disenfranchised taking money to court. Though it'll cost you, of course. Oh, well, there you have it. You see, that is why we need the Red-Headed League. To fight for the justice. Perhaps he has a point. No, Mr. Ryo. All we did was to give the man a comfortable place to sleep for the night. And you say it was a prison, huh? Perhaps he has a point again. No, again, Mr. Ryo. You should have heard him snoring. Madai. If anyone was disturbed, it was us. Not much to go on, really. Testimony does make me wonder, you know. About this pocket watch belonging to the inspector, I mean... yes, the one he treasured so much, apparently. He is confined but not restrained as the witnesses are implying. He would still have been able to wind his watch. It's very true, yes. So Inspector Gregson actually died while he was being held captive by these redheads? In which case, is it possible that these two young men are responsible for Inspector Gregson's... To be honest, I find that hard to believe. Perhaps we should try to find out exactly what happened. Yeah, no duh. Very wise, Mr. Ryo. We should try to find out what happened. Alright, we're gonna go back to the one about the red ring. Can we try doing... Let's look at... Well... We don't see it here, I don't think. But it would be on the autopsy report, right? And I don't think it's on the autopsy report. Let's try both.
Objection!
Oh, nice. So the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito. No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay, it was only. However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains. What inconsistency is this, Counsel? I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. You will see that there is no red ring visible around his neck. But that make no sense. It was me who took the collar off the man in the morning. I saw the red bruises on his neck, just like I have. Given that the mark is still clearly visible on this witness's neck, you expect to see bruising on the victim who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. De Rossi. Indeed, that is most peculiar. But what we tell you, huh? We say this from the beginning. Many times, Oui, Peppino is right. The man in the photograph is someone different to the man we held captives at night. That's kind of what I've been suspecting. I think that they had gossip, and for some reason gossip omitted this. Order. It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all. If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. Prosecution made that assertion itself. We also know that the inspector had made a note about the Redhead League in his diary for that day. Surely means we can't divorce the two events completely. Inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson whom these two Redhead gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation. I think what happened is that someone killed Gregson, and then they wrote in his logbook from his death. They took his book from his body, wrote in the book that he was going to investigate the Redhead League, put the wig on him, and then left the body there and whatnot, and then went as Inspector Gregson with the logbook to the event. I guess he would have had to have taken the wig with him as well, but that's the idea. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of the real inspector's identification? Does the defense have some plausible explanation, counsel? The whole thing defies explanation. It's for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Ryu. Because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie. No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point to something so incredible, it's almost unbelievable. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Redhead League's enrollment is revealed by information in the court record, I believe. Good gracious. Very tantalizing, Mr. Ryu. So why don't you help us all to see whatever truth it is that you've apparently seen? Yeah. Though it seems incredible, I admit, the undeniable facts point to only one thing. No bruising can be seen on the victim's neck. The person who these two red-headed men took prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson. In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time. No, on the contrary, I haven't finished. What? There's no bruising on the victim's neck, so the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was this man in the park on Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification? See, that's alright. We tell the same story every time. Whoever this man was, the capo dragged him from a pillar to a post with a dog of cholera. Monte Peppino, I was not so harsh as you say, huh? So who was that, the false inspector, eh? Who was he? Clearly, the defense has an idea about that. About the true identity of the man these two imprisoned that night. I must ask counsel for the defense to elaborate post haste. It's definitely gossip. It's definitely the dog gossip. Yeah, look at that.
Take that!
Goodness me, isn't that one of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today? A nameless man, whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passersby. What on earth would a street seller be doing with a police inspector's identification papers? Witnesses, is this the man or not? What has supposed to his lip? What has it happened? Ah! See, this man's not for the Redhead League, eh? He's a-looking for the Twisted Lip League, oh? Ah. Perhaps rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. Seems improbable, yes. But one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noted something around the man's neck. Red ring of bruising. What? The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand. Order, bailiff. Bring the aforementioned witness back in the courtroom, immediately. Oh yeah. It definitely does look like he's been beaten up, huh? Why, never. An undeniable ring of bruising indeed. And identical to that of the witness beside him. Now what's going on here, eh? I've always had this, me. There's a birthmark, isn't it? A birthmark, you say? That was the wrong voice. I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you? Somewhat about an inspector again. Benton, you've got it all wrong as usual. You're denying all knowledge of it? Well, of course I am. Are you trying to Kill me with all this nonsense, eh? Well, at least you'll have more stories to peddle back on Fresno Street, won't you? Now, we're going to need you to testify again. And you, Mr. Russo, Mr. Rossi, I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? Gosh, wrong voices. Do we have any choice? We are in a big trouble, eh, Capo? That's quite enough dilatory chatter. Proceed with the testimony. Alright. Now, we're at a crossroads here where I could stop the video, but I think we're going to continue and get this in as well. Because we're only about 20 minutes in, I think this one won't be as long. See, a man who claimed to be an inspector that day was definitely not this man. He's right, see? You think we should have forget these grand lips, huh? I never leave Fresno Street, alright? I've no interest in any redheaded league. I'm all on the web, me. I have no kinfolk or nothing. Why would I be involved in something like that? Just look at me, eh? Doesn't look like I could carry off a disguise with a face like this. I mean, he probably had a normal face and then he got beat up. It would certainly appear that we have the wrong man. What have I been telling you, huh? There was no need for this pointless testimony. Ah, that's right. I'm just a simpler peddler, remember? Fresno Street's all I know. Gosh, I cannot remember his voice. I keep fucking it up so bad. How would I have come by a police inspector's identification book, eh? Well, yes, that's hard to explain, but... a brief cross-examination, I think, counsel. Very brief. Isn't there anyone in this courtroom who thinks I might be onto something? I stand steadfastly at your side as always, Mr. Ryu. I think Kazuma believes it too.
Hold it!
So you say, but how can you be quite so certain? There is no need to hurt your hands on the desk, monsieur. Surely the reason is obvious, no? Because I have never before seen lips like this. Nevertheless, there's a clear red mark around Mr. Gossip's neck. It looks very much like that left behind on the neck of your colleague by your prized collar. Mon Dieu, with your words it is like you tried to wring my neck. It does look very much like my neck though, eh? No, this... Shit. No, this is a birthmark, lad. Biggest lips in the neck to die for, they broke more when they made me. For the first time in my life, I feel lucky to have been born with the red hair. Brutal. I thought being Japanese made you stand out in London. So you maintain that you've never seen this man before? Oui, c'est ça. I swear to it by the flames of my hair. So fierce pride has outgrown the frustration with your hair now, has it?
Hold it!
Well, yes, I don't imagine I'll forget those lips in a hurry either. That is what I am a-saying. For some reason it makes me want to eat, how did Fabien call it, an eclair. You know, I've never seen the hair as black as yours before either. Likewise, I've never seen red hair like yours until I came to Britain. See, maybe it's a national trait, eh? Maybe all the people from this man's country have the grand lips. No, lad, I was born right here on Fresno Street and I've never left. Uffa, that is the problem, see? So you definitely didn't go to the park on Lime Street that day, Mr. Gossip? Now, how many times do you want me to say, eh? Gosh, the lip flick is disgusting. I hate it so much. So, you'd heard of the Redheaded League, had you? You don't get a name like Gossip for nothing, eh? My business to know what's going off in town. I sold that tasty tidbit for a fair few redheads that came past me. It's 2 years, I even got a sandwich cuff up for it. Well, he does have a very red nose, if that counts. Who knows? Bet you can see my own hair's not got a hint of red in it. In any case, Fresno shoots my patch. You won't catch me sidling off to some other part of town. No, sir, not likely. Interesting. Mr. DeRusso. Ah, oui, can I help you? Did Mr. Gossip's words just now lead you to remember something relevant, perhaps? It was the other day, when I was looking for a place near the park, a small house or something. To be the headquarters of your Redheaded League, yes. I visited an housing agent on Lime Street, and there I saw him. This man was paying money to the agent. What? Mr. Gossip, with a housing agent? Oui, he had some kind of contract in his hand and they were clearly discussing terms. But no, you're mistaken, chump. I've never left Fresno Street Me, like I said before. You mistaken me for someone else. Someone with the same face. No, the Cap was right, I remember it too. He was paying the man with the banknotes. With notes? Like I said, that wasn't me. I was curious why this man with the dirty clothes had so much money. So I looked at the name on the papers. And what name was written? Mr. Gossip? No, this man, he lies. He tells you that he has no name. But in fact, his name is Hugh Boone, huh? Better than Mr. Gossip, I think. See, Hugh Boone's the name of the person who owns the house that Mr. Gregson died in. I'm plenty of tidbits for information, like I said, on Fresno Street, and that's that. I don't much like folk talking about my personal life. Indeed. It is not the intention of the court to invade the privacy of witnesses. Very well, I shall respect your wishes, sir. Aforementioned name shall be redacted from all court records of this trial, assuming no objections. I'm sorry, my lord, but the defense does object. Because the name just mentioned has a very deep significance to this case. Good gracious. Do you similarly object, Prosecutor Asogi? As it happens, my lord, that particular name has already been mentioned during today's proceedings. Why never? In what capacity? Hugh Boone. The name of the leaseholder of the room. Let me put this very simply. The victim's body was discovered in your rented room. I suggest, sir, that you start talking. Well, alright. I suppose that might be the case, eh? Dude, that pose is hilarious, too. So your real name is Hugh Boone? Well, it's too nuts. I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but there's no finer peddler of tidbits in town. So I happen to be able to afford a grubby little woman falling down Backstreet Stunttown. He didn't deny his name. Or he didn't answer the question. You do. And once every 6 months I go and pay rent to the agent on Lime Street. I remember now. There were 2 vulgar redheads in there last time. If either of us is a vulgar, it's not to me. Think again, Peppino. Why didn't you bring this up before? It's like I told you already. I don't like talking about my personal life. I'm a tidbit peddler as far as everyone else is concerned. No fuss. You will update your testimony to include this most surprising revelation, Mr. Boone. I must. So the leaseholder Scotland Yard has been looking for since the body was discovered. Has been here under our noses all along.
Hold it!
So, you live in that room presumably, do you? No, I don't live there. What do you think? There's no bed, is there? Just a desk. Then, why would you want to rent it? Well, I don't think I should have to say, really. Then how about the notice board in there? Which was covered from top to bottom in confidential documents only the police should have had access to. No, that board's not mine. The inspector must have brought it along. It's only the other bits and bobs that belong to me, the desk and the chair and that. People don't generally carry enormous notice boards around with them. The real question is, why was Inspector Gregson killed there in your room? Well, obviously I have not the faintest idea. I mean, it's causing me no end of bother, to be honest. It seems to me like Mr. Boone would rather as little is known about his room as possible for some reason. This does come across that way. More importantly, knowing that the scene of the crime is actually his room completely changes things. In particular, there's one part of his testimony that's really bothering me now. That's how I'm finally going to undo this man.
Hold it!
You mean you have no family? No, none at all. So I spend my days on Fresno Street peddling tidbits to passersby. Hoping just between us is that eventually someone else with lips like mine would come along. I don't think so. You may be right. Anyway, that mark on your neck is just too much of a coincidence for us to ignore. Well, what's a fella to do then, eh? If you don't believe me, then we're at an impasse. There's nothing I can do about Flick Me Lip. Looks like I'm not going to get anywhere here, unless I can produce some proof. You're basically saying I get dressed up and pose as some fancy inspector, aren't you? Well, it's beyond me how you think I would do that. Yeah, that's something where we need to present evidence in.
Hold it!
Maybe you could, say, with a mustache, or a beard to cover up that lip. Perhaps. But if I was going to stick some fake facial hair on to cover up this fine specimen, I am looking more like his lordship over there, wouldn't I? Pardon? I assure you my lips are entirely unremarkable. I would ask you not to cast such scrutinizing looks in my direction, Counsel. Sorry, my lord. My imagination got the better of me there. Well, Inspector Gregson did wear a mustache, of course. Right, he did. So perhaps he was hiding something in himself. He could barely have hidden a crumb in a mustache of that size. And anyway, the detective we spoke was had no facial hair at all. See, the capo was alright, he was a clean shaven. Certainly seems beyond the realm's possibility that the Woodsworth could have disguised himself as a victim. Aye, it does, and it is. Wrong voice. That's the extent of their testimony, is it? Do you feeling, Mr. Ryu? Well, what Mr. Boone says is undeniable. It's all but impossible to hide those lips with any form of disguise. I think the lips happened afterwards somehow. Perhaps yes, but nonetheless the mark around his neck is equally undeniable. It's identical to the one that Mr. DeRossi suffered. Yes, it's true. Why does this whole disguised idea just keep playing on my mind? So I think it's gonna be this one. Where we would do it, right? Maybe? I think that's what they said, or was it this one? Let's look at our stuff. Anything on here about the address for some reason? No. I saw the word Boone up here, I was like, wait a second. Actually, look at that. They look kind of similar, don't they? Apart from the lip, like look at the hairstyle. But why would he have been missing for so long? I don't know. Let's keep looking at the evidence though. Maybe that's not him. This isn't going to be relevant. If we think that's him, then this might be relevant, but no. Oh, the photograph. Yeah, the photograph was in the room, and this could be him.
Objection!
If you have no kinfolk, as you put it, then explain why it is that among the sparse furnishings, you found this photograph in the room. I presume as you've been renting the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not? Oh, well... Mr. Boone, drop the pretense, and tell the court exactly who you really are. I don't know what you mean. I'm a peddler. I can keep telling you so. You really don't need to bother with me. Please, just leave it alone. As the man says, leave it alone. Whatever the truth is about this man's life, it has no bearing on this case. Because it's simply not possible that he impersonated Inspector Gregson. How can you be so sure? Just look at the man. That's so rude. No amount of disguise could ever hide those unmissable features. But what if we were to look at this the other way around? What do you mean? Yes, Counsel, what do you mean? Well, there's no denying that Mr. Boone's lip is very prominent indeed. But consider the possibility that its prominent lip is itself part of an elaborate disguise. Then hiding that prominent feature, in other words, revealing its true face, would make an utterly impenetrable disguise. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Hugh Boone? Good witness, are you still hiding the truth from this court? If that's a disguise, then underneath it, his true identity must be... Yes, that's right. There's really only one person he could really be. My lord, the defense believes it can reveal Mr. Boone's true identity to the court. No, please, no. Very well then, counsel. This guy right here.
Take that!
Your real name is actually Mr. Vigil, isn't it? Mr. Daily Vigil. Oh, Daily Vigil, that's so funny because he's also watching out and it's a Daily Vigil. I don't recall that name, Counsel. Who was this Mr. Vigil? It's a name I encountered yesterday, my lord. It has to do with a certain client of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. A young gentlewoman came to the detective, asking him to locate her missing husband. The woman in this photograph, in fact, this is Mrs. Vigil. What? From what I understand, you haven't returned home since the night before the inspector was found dead. That's right, he hasn't been missing 10 years. He's only been missing a few days. He was fired 10 years ago from the prison and he never told his wife. Of course, in the night you were being held captive by the two Redheaded League men. And last night you were put up by the prosecution service in preparation for testifying in this trial. Because we've been led to believe that you, Miss Venus, and Mr. Sandwich were all homeless. Being important witnesses in this case, we needed to know where we could find you, of course. That explains why you've not only been unable to return home, but also unable to contact your wife, who's been beside herself with worry, waiting for you at the Vigil residence. No, just hold on a minute, I don't have the first idea. What I'm talking about? Really? It's a simple enough matter to confirm my suspicions. All we have to do is pull off that disguise. No, please. Wait, let's bring soap, a sponge, and a wash bowl at once. Mr. Russo, Mr. Rossi, you over to restrain the witness. You're making them do it? Why? Here we go. Here we go. Getting cleaned. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's so handsome too. Sorry. Alright. This is great. This is actually where we're going to stop today. This is a good stopping spot. Next time we're going to talk to Mr. Vigil. We're going to find out what really happened, and we're going to conclude this case, I believe. We might conclude it. I don't know. Seems like there's not much more as far as who could have done it. It feels like Mr. Vigil probably did it. But what I'm missing still is a clear motive. I think it definitely has to go back to the professor trial somehow, or the wider conspiracy in general. But we'll see. That's all I got today. Thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all are amazing. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Make sure you take care of others. And I will see you next time. Peace out.